Hey there, I'm Tommaso, Housemarque community manager. Usually here you see a blonde guy, slightly overweight, but that's not me, that's the other guy, that's Mikael. Today I'm here presenting Tommy. You've been
Hello.
here already with us, playing some, what was that?
Well, I've played a couple of episodes of Super Meat Boy,
And also-
as well as our Stardust.
Exactly. Okay, today we play something that is not exactly the latest game on the market. It's Braid, released in 2008 by one single developer, Jonathan Blow, that has been working, I guess, with an artist because he's been doing most of the programming. So, great thing about this game, title screen and it's already gameplay. Also, title screen, there's already a lot of secrets because if you can go back a second,
Sure.
we can see there those this constellation, and do you know what they do?
Yeah, I've finished that.
All right.
I don't want to spoil anything in case some people are.
Well, it's been like what 7 years now, I think maybe.
Well, yeah, that's a fair point.
Anyway, what's the game about?
Oh well, this is pretty much a standard platformer with time manipulation as the main gimmick.
Yeah, I would say that at the time when this came out, time manipulation wasn't common in games,
Right.
and
Yeah.
this one kind of established this time manipulation thing. And to be honest, I remember if I'm correct, it's the same year that the first Mass Effect came out, and this and the first Mass Effect were my games of the year. I played it on Xbox Live Arcade, which I think was the first platform to host Braid. Another interesting thing about Braid is that the story that it tells is very convoluted and hard to figure out, but
Yes.
there are some interesting twists by the end.
Sure thing. And I have to say that this is one of the most beautiful games that I've ever played, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like a painting, really.
Yeah. Also the soundtrack, it's pretty beautiful.
Yes, indeed, and I remember reading that the main developer Jonathan Blow didn't actually hire like game musicians, really.
I think the music was already done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think he licensed the tracks from Magnatune or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember. Okay, so we can see here some pieces of puzzle. Those are the main things that Braid has to. Is Braid even the name of the character? I'm not 100%
Tim
sure.
is the
Tim, right? Exactly. Tim has to pick up, and okay, the first one is pretty easy, but then from here on it becomes quite interesting. So, can you show us the time ruin mechanic?
Sure thing. I'll just
Die.
die. You don't have to die in order to use that, but it actually gives you instructions on how to use it
Yeah.
when you die. And
Basically, you can come back to life and retread your path.
yeah, and as you can see, you can go back as far as you like, and you can also go forward with different speeds, and of course backwards with different speeds, which will become really handy at a later stage.
Yeah. So the thing about Braid is that the puzzles are becoming very quickly very difficult, and I remember at the time I finished the game, but I had to check a few solutions on YouTube. I have to admit, because they were definitely out of my league, and especially like when we saw the stars in the beginning. These stars are extremely hidden, well hidden, and the way you collect them is you need to think out of the box.
Yes.
And what happens when you have them all? Because actually I haven't done it back then.
Well, you get a chance to reach the alternative ending, which is quite an effort in itself.
Is it a good ending? Because the main one is somehow perplexing, at least.
Well,
Perplexing in a good way, I would say. I was completely blown away by how it turns out to be. Like you wouldn't expect it.
yeah. Well, it kind of I don't know how to explain it really, but you can demonstrate by the special ending how, if you're determined enough, you can like get what you want.
In life. That's a beautiful message. So we can see here there's a frame where you can put all the pieces of puzzle you collect, and in the end they form some pictures. Then, if I remember correctly, they go into the house of Tim, and they form
Yes,
like this kind of
indeed.
Paintings.
Yeah, and yeah, there are a couple of puzzle pieces here which you can't actually reach at this point. Because there's one specific puzzle piece that you actually need in order to
complete the puzzle.
Yeah, in order to get these two
Oh,
puzzle
yeah,
pieces
yeah.
that you have around here. This is probably my favorite piece of music in this game.
Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
So why do you think Braid is still relevant at this point?
Well, it does a really good job at well, delivering the story, and the presentation is absolutely fantastic. Without the kind of
That's what happens when you can win time.
yeah, without like AAA production value.
It's quite amazing that basically this was made by two guys, and like the complexity of the puzzles and the prettiness of the artwork would kind of suggest a much bigger team. I would say like the importance of this game is kickstarting a certain kind of indie games.
Right.
I think after this there was an explosion of like many games also take inspiration even when it comes to the mechanics. For example, one that comes from the top of my head is The Bridge. I don't know if you played that one. It's
I don't think
very
I have.
similar in aesthetic, but it's black and white. And the thing you do in The Bridge, I haven't played too much of it, but you can rotate the worlds and play with gravity and things like that.
It's kind of hard to hard for me to focus on both solving the puzzles and talking. So
more
my apologies for
more than when you were playing Super Meat Boy.
Well, that's mostly just
Reflexive.
muscle memory,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So
We're trying to kill all these guys because the door then opens and you can access that piece of
Yeah.
puzzle.
yeah, the trouble was actually, well, you kind of need to figure out the right order of
Exactly.
doing the Goombas. Yeah.
I don't know if they're Goombas.
Well, well,
Are they called Goombas?
They,
I don't know, Nintendo.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
well, some people have called them Goombas, so that wasn't like my own.
Probably that was the original inspiration for Jonathan Blow.
Right.
Jonathan Blow, that by the way, is working on a new game. It's called The Witness. It's been in the works for some time now,
Right.
and I guess it's gonna be a PS4 console exclusive. Then it's probably coming out on PC as well. And it's another puzzle game of a different kind. Apparently, you're on an island, and there are a bunch of very weird-looking puzzles that you have to solve to solve the mystery of the island.
Right.
But we haven't. I think there's no release date for that yet.
Hmm.
So I don't know what's going on with
Yeah. So this is one of the first like clever puzzles that you have. You can see that these two puzzle pieces contain this part that kind of looks like a platform that you could walk on.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies to those Goombas. So that's a way for me to get that
Goomba out of the
Goomba,
way. Oh
yeah,
no.
away from that top platform, so that I can jump on it here and pick up the.
Yes, I completely
piece.
forgot about this, and now that you are showing it again, I still think it's brilliant.
Yeah, and here I think I can, jump and then move.
Oh, I didn't remember about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must say, like, you really need to think in a different way playing this game, and I loved it for how smart it makes you feel when you actually can solve
Right.
you can solve a puzzle.
Yeah, and this cloud over here used to, well, give me a headache for a long time until I finally gave up and read about the puzzle, and that's maybe the most annoying part of the entire game.
Isn't that functional to collecting one of the stars?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
yeah, we won't spoil it, even if it's been a while that the game has been out. But collecting the star is the most mind-bending experience.
Well, that's collecting that star in particular is kind of boring, and if I actually try to do that, this would be the most boring Let's Play ever, and it would last about 2 hours.
So if I remember correctly, there are what 5 worlds, something like that.
I think there are 6.
Oh, okay.
The numbering of the worlds was kind of interesting because we started at world number 2 and
right.
And oops. So I guess I don't have enough time to. Oops. Come on, I don't remember how this thing works at all. Ooh. Barely made it.
Well, we can see some references to Nintendo stuff because
yes,
we have the
indeed.
pipe here, and then when you complete a level, we will see a message that should be familiar to all Nintendo fans. So which is here actually.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm sorry, but the princess is in another castle.
Right.
Yes, so this was the first world, and now we move to the second. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
Yeah.
The first world is the one where there's the title screen, right? Am I correct?
We just completed world 2, and I think the numbering goes from 3 to through 6. Well, the one on the bottom left is world 6, and then the last world is actually world 1.
Okay. So maybe the title screen is something else.
Yeah. I could complete the puzzle, but just for saving time, I'll just skip.
All right. So the story here it's very weird, and it's very melancholic, if I remember right.
Right.
It's something you wouldn't expect to see in a game like this.
Yes.
I remember this puzzle.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
Okay, so we have like a Goomba there with a key to the
Yeah.
door. How do we get?
Yeah. So this level introduces this new mechanic where you, if you look closely, you can see that the key has like this green glow to it, as well as the door on top, and that green glow indicates that
They're not affected by the timer winding.
exactly. So that so I could actually pick up the key by rewinding, and that creates some really interesting puzzles.
So this also has been one of the game most featured in things like after doing Xbox Live Arcade. I remember this has been ported to several platforms, and probably one of the first games to end up in the Humble Bundle. So right now I think you can get this for really cheap.
Right. I remember I got the first version of this game through Humble Bundle, but that was actually, I think it was Humble Bundle 5.
Okay. So you don't consider Humble Bundle 5 to be one of the firsts?
Well,
Not you're
well,
more underground than that, right?
maybe, yeah. I mean, I haven't actually purchased that many Humble Bundles since I don't know, a couple of years ago.
All right, so you actually asked to play this game. Is there a specific reason why you wanted to discuss it?
Well,
From the point of view of somebody who makes game.
well, not really, but I just
You
thought
just-
that
just
well,
wanted to play.
this is one of my favorite platformers, and but of course, from game developers' perspective, there are some really interesting things about this game, like for instance, how the rewinding mechanism is actually implemented, and I don't know much about it, but I just recently watched one of Jonathan Blow's talks about this subject, and it was actually quite interesting. He basically records all the frames that you play.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as a game developer, you will probably you could think of many possible strategies for actually making
This kind of
making
replay.
the time manipulation work, but no, I actually have to go.
You're making this look easy, but I remember that this is everything except easy. Like now you kind of remember most of the puzzles, but yeah, these are definitely not easy to solve
Yeah.
the first time around.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, something interesting to say about the music is that the music kind of gives away a bit of the theme of the game, in the sense that if you can hear it, it's very sad music.
Right.
So there's something like the atmosphere in the game. It's incredible because it looks so colorful and somehow happy, and
Yeah.
still it can communicate. It's kind of there's something wrong,
Right. Yeah.
except
Yeah.
for the killer ponies, which I think are pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, they're funny when you first see them, but when you get to the point where you have to fight, escape, or run away from like a couple of dozen of those, they're not that much fun anymore. But
Okay, maybe the last thing we can cover, it's like he gets several different powers over the course of the game. So one we saw already, and it's the one where some objects are not influenced by the rewinding. Then if now I'm trying to remember how it goes, but he can also at some point create like some time bubbles. Is that correct?
yes, in a much later stage.
Yeah, much
actually.
later. I think it's
Yeah.
probably War 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's number 6.
Oh, okay.
actually. Yeah.
And then what else can he do? He can create the copies of himself.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one variation of the or one addition to the basic gameplay mechanic. And I have to say that my favorite world is the one where the time of your surroundings and timing of all the dynamic objects around the level is dependent on your physical position.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Like, so you move on one side and then the time does something, and you move on the other and the time does
Yeah,
something.
basically the time goes forward when
Yeah.
when you move to the right, and yeah, that's
the
perfect
time.
yeah.
It's beautiful and it's clever. It's a game you can get for every platform. Right now, I think it's available on Mac, Steam, PC, of course, Linux, Then you can get it DRM free. You can get it on Xbox 360. I guess there are no versions for PS4 and Xbox One. But you should be. Maybe this was released even for mobile. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Heard about that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it requires a bit too much precise controls, but
Right.
anyway, this was Braid. We are all looking forward to the next work of Jonathan Blow, which is this kind of solitary genius that takes like 6 years to make a game. But definitely go ahead and play some Braid if you haven't, because it's gonna be incredible, even so many years after the original release. Right. Thank you, Tommy, for being with us,
Thank you
and
for watching.
until the next game.